everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Huck. Today we have a very special announcement update, which you probably saw from the thumbnail and the video title, but I got a dog. And so this is my dog Merlin. You have probably seen some like other dogs on my channel over the years in vlogs, but I mentioned in another video that those are my parents' dogs, who I love very much, and I love them as my own. But Merlin is my first dog that is mine, because I'm finally kind of in a situation in my life where I'm able to have my own dog. So he might be popping up in videos here and there, especially if I am doing any vlogs. So I thought I'd just introduce him to you all officially, do a formal introduction to Merlin. So pretty much I got him from a rescue at the end of February. I had been looking for a dog since about November. Actually, right when I got Merlin, I was actually just about to take a break from looking for dogs, but then I saw his little face on Pet Finder and I was like, all right, I gotta go see this dog. I went in kind of like, don't get my hopes up, but I'm gonna like go check him out. He was gonna be at a adoption event at a PetSmart near me, so I went to see him, and then I saw him and I was like, this is the dog. The first 2 months of having him were pretty exhausting because he is such a troublemaker. He is just like a troublemaker to the core, and he's a real sweetheart. Like, he is so sweet, but he also is so much trouble, and he has some like some behavioral issues that we've been working on. You know, I have been definitely like working on his training, and he has been settling in, and he's made a lot of improvements since I first got him. Now that he is more settled in, now that he is more attached to me, he has made a lot of improvements, and he still has a long way to go, but he's been doing a lot better. And you know, even with the like behavioral issues that he has and stuff, he's such a sweetheart, and everybody loves him. He gets along really great with other dogs. He goes to doggy daycare sometimes, and he does great with the other dogs there. He gets along with my parents' dogs, so he's great. But those first 2 months especially were really exhausting because he really had a hard time settling in, and I just was like in a state of constant vigilance because he was constantly just testing all of his boundaries, trying to eat everything in the apartment, including like all of my charging cords. He was such a troublemaker, and like I said, he still is a troublemaker to the core, but he is doing a lot better and has learned a lot about, like, you know, the boundaries and the rules of the house and what is and is not acceptable, and he's just really settled in. So anyways, that is also part of why I have not been posting, is that especially for the last few months, he has taken all of my time and energy. I was barely reading because I felt like I could not take my eyes off of him for a second to look at a book. And then the little bit that I did read, I just did not have the energy or the time to film. But as you can see now, he is at a point where he is able to just settle down and chill out, which is great, because that was one of the things when I first got him, is that he would never settle down. He would just pace, and then he would like get into trouble because he wasn't able to just settle. And so that's one of the things that we really worked on, being able to settle down and just chill out. So he's doing a lot better, and he's able to do this now, which is great for me, which means that I don't have to like watch him every second. And it's good for him because I think that he's less stressed now that he's able to like settle down. That is the story of getting him. I don't know too much about his background because, you know, he is a rescue. And so all I really know is that he was originally from a small like county shelter that was running out of space, and so they work with the rescue that I got him from. So the rescue took him to free up space for the shelter. I know that once he was with the rescue, he was adopted, I think by a family, but then they returned him after 1 week. They were kind of vague about the reasons for exactly why they returned him, but it sounded like it probably had to do with some of his behavioral issues, his energy, and that, you know, he just is a dog that he needs a little more work and training put into him, which I don't think they were able to do. And so that is why they returned him, and that's how he ended up at the rescue when I saw him. I will put some pictures of the pictures that I saw on Pet Finder that made me go like, I need to go meet this dog. Like, he just had so much personality in his face, which is also part of how he got the name Merlin, because he just has so much personality in his face. He looked to me like he would be a character in a children's book that would be like a magical talking dog that would say to the kids like, let's go, come children, let's go on an adventure. And then he would lead them into like, you know, Wonderland or Narnia or some like magical world for an adventure. And so I just felt like he needed a name that matched that. I wanted to name him after a character, just because I feel like it's fun to name dogs after characters. And Merlin just felt like the right amount of like serious old man name, but also a little bit goofy and derpy. Also, something about him that I discovered is he loves mirrors. He is obsessed with mirrors. I have a large full-length mirror in my living room, and he will just stare at himself in the mirror. He has pawed at the mirror trying to like get into it. I guess he thinks that there's another dog looking at him. I don't really know, but I like to think that it's because you know, he is actually magical and he is either like scrying or seeing into like a portal world through the mirror. But that is how he got his name. I don't know what breed of dog he is. He is a mystery mix, you know, as most rescues are. He definitely has some kind of hound in him. The rescue said that he was a beagle mix, which I think is possible. I think it's also possible that he is something like a smaller breed mixed with a large hound breed, because the coloring that he has definitely looks beagle-ish, but there are actually a lot of different hound breeds that have this kind of coloring, especially like there are foxhounds, there are certain kinds of coon hounds. There are a lot of different dogs that have that type of coloring. He definitely has something else though mixed in with the hound, partially just because of like his size and his body shape. He has like kind of short stocky legs, and then his body's like a little bit too long for how long his legs are, but not as like extreme as something like a corgi, although I did wonder if he might have a little bit of corgi in him because the shape of his face actually looks more corgi than hound. Also, his fur is very different from a hound type of fur. Hounds often have a much more like sleek fur, and he has much like longer fur. He is more of a medium length coat, and he's very, very soft, and so I don't know what that, like, where does that come from? So yeah, he's a little mystery. And then the rescue also said that they estimated his age to be around 3 years old, and I think that he might actually be younger than that. Of course, I'm not an expert, but based on some of his like his energy, his behavior, he's fully grown. He's about 45 pounds and he's gonna stay that size. So he's at least over a year old for sure, but I just feel like he might be closer to 2 years old instead of 3, or maybe even a little younger than 2. I'm not really sure because he just still has some very puppyish characteristics, but he's not gonna get any bigger. But that's pretty much all I know about his backstory. There really wasn't a lot of info about him, but yeah, now he's here. The last clip of this video where I wrapped up the video got corrupted, so it is unusable. So just enjoy these additional pictures of Merlin being super cute. I'm sure you will see him popping up around in other videos or vlogs, but thank you all for watching, and until next time, bye!